Okay, now we're going to do a solving by factoring. 6x squared plus 30x minus 36. X squared plus 5x minus 6. I factored out a 6. Divide each side by 6. Set this equal to 0. You have x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Reverse FOIL that. X minus 1, x plus 6. Minus 1 is 0, x equals 1, x equals minus 6. Those are your roots, your x-intercepts. X and y at the vertex. A is 6, B is 30, C is minus 36. XV is minus B over 2A, minus 30 over 26 is minus 2.5, and here's where, watch. F minus 2.5 is 6 minus 2.5 squared plus 30 minus 2.5 minus 36. It's 37.5 minus 75 minus 36 is minus 73.6. Plus. Got the minus.
There it is.
Okay, now we want to draw this out. Well, the y-intercept, if you look at it over here, is 36. So let's draw all this out. I have x equal 1, x equal minus 6 as the roots. XV is 2.5. Down here is minus 73.6. Minus 2.5 minus 2 is at a minimum point. And the x-axis is minus 36, which goes through 1. And this is your graph. So the graph actually gives you a minimum point. And you can actually have told that from here, because your A is greater than 0. That always says you're going to have a minimum when you have a quadratic. If this was less than 0, you would have a maximum. Here, A is greater than 0. We can put down here, A is greater than 0. So we have a minimum. So that's what you'd be asked to do, to sketch it by hand. So we asked you to find the roots, the vertex, the y-intercept, and sketch it by hand. That's on your test. Okay, so your next thing here is all right, so this is always on a test. And you have a retailer. I don't know what number this is, but a retailer will buy 45 Wi-Fi routers all right, at a price per unit of $10. But only 20 if the price is $60. Now, the supplier, a wholesaler, or the supplier will sell 56 routers at a price of $42 each. But it will supply 70 routers if the price is $50 each. You want to find the number of units and the price per unit at market equilibrium, or what we call ME. All right, the first thing you must do here is to form a table. And I have to say, This is one of the ones that most people get wrong, even though I go over it 180 times. So the first thing is to get your tables. So you want to form a supply table and a demand table. So a supply table would be your wholesalers. So let's see, your wholesalers will supply 56 routers at a cost of $42, and 70 routers if it goes up to 50. Now your demand says I'm going to supply 45 at 10, but only 20 at 60. So we got to find, we're assuming the equations are linear. So this problem says assume linear equations for supply and demand. Forget that. Believable. So your supply, let's look at your slope. It's y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. I could call this y1, y2, x1, and x2. So we're going to have 50 minus 42 over 70 minus 56. Okay, I'm going to flip to my page where I've done this. I don't want to recreate the wheel on this one. This one is got a lot of calculations. Here we go. So it's 8 over 14. Why do you have to do that? Just to have it. I always close the cap for some reason. Okay, so 8 over 14 is going to be 4 sevens. And my demand slope is y2 minus y1. So let's go here. X, x1, x2, y1, y2. So 60 minus 10 over 45 minus 20. And we're going to get minus, we're going to get 50 over minus 15, which is minus 10 over 3. So there's your slopes, but now you have to find your straight lines. So let's use our straight line equation. We're going to use the point slope form. Y minus y0. X minus x0. Okay, so let's look at our supply. I have to pick 2 points. Supply is 4 sevens. I have to pick 2 points. And the points I picked was 70 and 50. So 70, 50. When you solve this out, your supply function becomes 4 sevenths x plus 10. Now your demand y minus equals minus 10 over 3 x minus. So what points did I pick here? What I picked here was 20 and 60. When you solve this out, your y demand is minus 10x over 3 plus 200. So now I have two equations here. At market equilibrium, the price would be equal. In this case, y is the price. So I'm going to say y at market equilibrium, ys equal yd. So I get 4/7 x plus 10 equal minus 10x over 3 plus 200. I'm not going to solve it for you. If you want to multiply both sides by everything by 21, you can. But I get basically here x equals 53.8. And then I substitute in any one of the other ones. I substitute in here y equals 4/7 53.8 plus 10, and we get 40.8. So our xy values are what we would call our PQ values, our QP values, sorry. And that would be 53.8 units, assuming you could separate them. We wanted to probably round that off to full 54, and $40.8 per unit. All right. And I think what we next want to do is to go over just a few problems from the quiz that you had some problems with. And I believe basically, if I can find it, which I can't, but it was average rate of change was one of the ones. So I'm going to, well, first of all, let's do this. If I'm given...
We're at 13 minutes.
I'm sorry. If I'm given P... No, if I'm given P equals... oh boy. From before, I'll just pick it out from one of the problems we did before. The one on the monopoly. P equals 50 minus 0.2x.
Are you starting a new problem?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we, we're at 13 minutes, why don't we just stop the one we have here? And
Oh, you want to stop here?
Start a new one, yeah.
Oh, well, okay, so I can write it all down.
Yeah.